Aloha family, welcome back to my channel, Paradise Noir TV. First off, let me just give a big shout out to all of my existing subscribers and a great big welcome and thank you to all of my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel and helping me to reach my goal of 200 subscribers. We're almost there. Thank you so very much. Okay guys, let me just tell you, my existing subscribers, please forgive me, forgive your girl, forgive your host, forgive the chef. I'm so sorry I haven't posted a video, but you know what, much like yourselves, life is going on around your girl, and I have been having to make some serious adjustments in my routine, in my life. But you know what, God is so good, and so is the goddess. Okay, and yeah, I just been working it out. So you guys probably will be seeing more videos from me, a little bit more constant content. So yeah, anyway guys, thank you so much. Let's get into this video. Okay family, to start with, you're gonna need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. That's what I'm using. Oh, just to know family, I'm actually gonna be making these biscuits in the food processor. If you don't have a food processor, it is possible to make these biscuits by hand, but I like to make it in the food processor. So this technique I'm doing, actually you guys, is useful. It's called sweeping. In baking, it's called sweeping, where you're actually spooning the flour in. It kind of helps you get a more accurate measurement if you're not using a scale. So yeah, let's just start out with 3 cups of AP fam. Next, we're going to do 3 3/4 tablespoons of baking powder. That's baking powder, not soda, people. Yeah, that was too big to go in there. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, 3 3/4 tablespoons of baking powder, not soda, into the food processor fam. Okay, and next we're just going to do like a dash of salt. I am going to be using salted butter fam, but still just like a dash of salt. So maybe like a half a teaspoon for all you people out there who just cannot do intuitive seasoning, like a half a teaspoon of salt. And that was just sea salt fam. Okay, up next we're going to do our butter. So I'm using two sticks of margarine and 1 stick of butter fam. You can use all butter if you want, but like I bake cakes too for a living on the side, so I be trying to save on the butter, and actually the biscuits still be tasting just as good. I mean, using all butter is yummy, but yeah, margarine works well. You can vary it how you want. Maybe you want to use 2 sticks of butter and 1 stick of margarine. It's up to you. So right here, as you can see, I'm just cutting it up in cubes. And family, let me just go ahead and tell you, so once I cut this this is the margarine. Once I cut this margarine up in cubes, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it inside of the food processor. But mind you family, everything needs to be cold. That is like one of the secrets to making a good biscuit, period. I don't care what kind of biscuits you making, buttermilk, cream, goat milk, whatever. Everything needs to be cold. Okay family, so right here I put the margarine inside the food processor, and I'm just gonna process that part up. That butter over there you see, that's why I have the grater out. This is what helps my biscuits be so buttery without a lot of butter, because I'm gonna grate that butter up, and then I'm gonna fold it in. You guys will see. Stick with me, hang with me. Okay, and I'll show you the texture that your dough should be when you're done processing it. Okay. Okay family, so right here, I hope you guys can see, maybe I'll try to zoom in on it, that it should be like kind of not super fine, but just like a little pebbly, looking like I kind of want to say looking like a medium grain cornmeal. So it's not going to be super fine, but yeah, just kind of not chunky either. You see me, I was kind of mixing it around because sometimes some of the butter gets kind of stuck at the bottom and on the side, so you're going to want to watch for that. So it shouldn't be chunky because some people like it like that because of that thing what I was saying about the butter melting, and it actually aids to the biscuit rising high. But we're going to be folding some butter in, so it don't need to be chunky, just kind of like a medium grain cornmeal is what you're going to be looking for. Okay family, so I'm going to be taking my mix out, and as you guys can see, I'm putting it in a bowl, but I'm actually going to put this in the freezer. Like, I'm real talk, everything needs to be super cold, family. So while I'm grating that butter, I'm going to put it in the freezer. I actually even have my cream inside the freezer too, guys. Everything, that's the key. Okay, yeah, that's what it should be looking like, but that's the key, everything needs to be super cold. So now, simple family, I'm just going to use the big whole side of the grater, and I'm going to grate this stick of butter. Easy peasy. Yeah, and I'm not wearing gloves, family, because this is just for me and my family. I don't know, some people are be real pressed about that on YouTube videos, like, oh, why they ain't wearing gloves, this and that. You know what, my hands are clean. I cook for a living, so I'm constantly washing my hands and stuff. I'm not wearing big long gross nails. They got all type of bacteria and stuff on them. So if you don't like it, then you guys can just go to someone else's YouTube channel. Real talk. All right, guys, so at the end of this, after you've done grating the butter, once you get down to a little bitty piece, don't feel pressed. Just chop it up and add it to the rest of it. And then family, we're gonna put this also in the freezer for a few minutes. Everything needs to be cold. I cannot stress that enough. That is the key. That is the secret to making good biscuits. Real talk, family. Everything just needs to be super uber duper cold. Okay family, now we're going to go into preparation of making our biscuits. For this part, I'm going to put gloves on because it does get messy, and sometimes I do succumb to peer pressure. I don't want anybody like, oh, it's all over her fingers, Anyway, family, so you're gonna take your cream. I'm actually using half and half, family. I'm using half and half, which works. It's okay. And what you want to do is, I'm using 1 cup of half and half, and you're just gonna mix it in a little bit at a time. Remember, guys, it was in the freezer, so it is very cold. Just a little bit at a time, family. And as you're mixing it in, you're gonna want to just kind of squeeze your dough together. You're squeezing it together as you drizzle a little bit of your milk mixture in it, because you want to get it to where it's just barely holding together. In fact, family, I always even still have dry parts left over, as you'll see in the video. So I just went ahead and added the rest of my cream. You'll have to forgive me, I think I was getting a little bit impatient. But yeah, drizzling it slow, and also just until it just kind of sticks and it's kind of like holding together. It's just kind of holding together, just like that, family. If you guys can see, it's just kind of just barely, just kind of like all of it is just kind of sticking and holding it together. That's also another secret good biscuits. You just can't over mix it, family. You just don't want to fool with it a whole lot, you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna just drop some flour on your counter. I'm so sorry about the camera angle, you guys. I wish you guys could see this part better. You're just gonna drop some flour on your counter. Please make sure your counter is bleached and cleaned off first. You know what I'm saying? Make sure your counter or whatever space you're working at is really clean. And you're gonna just kind of knead it together, just like pie crust. You don't want to fool with it too much. We're just gonna be kneading it together, and we're gonna be taking those pieces that are kind of dry. Don't feel tempted, family, to use more milk. Okay, this is where a lot of people go wrong too. They use too much liquid. Don't feel tempted like, oh, it's still dry pieces in the bottom of the bowl. It's not all clumped together. You're not making muffins. Okay, see, look at it. Look at it, family. It's starting to come together because as you knead it, that dry part, those dry pieces, they'll come together. They'll come together into the mix. Okay, so I'm kneading it here, but I'm not going to knead it too much because remember, family, we have that butter, that grated butter that was in the freezer. We're going to fold that butter in. Okay, we're going to fold it in just like if you were making croissants. Not that everybody knows how to make croissants, but yeah, that's pretty much like the technique that we'll be using. Okay, family, let's not make this overly complicated. It actually really is simple. So you saw me just put a few of the butter curls there and just fold the dough over. So you're pretty much just going to do that until you're finished with the butter. So put some butter and as it falls, put it back in and fold it over like an envelope. As you can see, what I'm doing is I'm actually making the layers. These is what make the nice flaky layers of the biscuits, to make them rise up and pop up. And the butter just cooks throughout, family. It's so yummy. So yeah, family, don't overcomplicate this process. Also add flour as you need, adding your butter curls and folding it over as you go. Easy peasy. Okay, family, so I'm all done and I'm just pressing down, trying not to overwork the dough. Try not to press too hard, but honestly, these biscuits are like no fail when it comes to being tender and soft, family. I put down a little bit more flour because I'm going to get ready and roll the dough out. That's right, family. Pretty much these biscuits are finished. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm just pressing it down a little bit. Don't forget to flour your rolling pin, and if you don't have a rolling pin, family, that's okay. It's cool. Just use like a plastic cup or some type of cup or something you have that's round and sturdy. Cooking doesn't have to be precise, and even baking, people like, oh, baking is a precise art, but I don't agree with that. I mean, you do need to have measurements and cups and stuff like that, but when it comes to putting stuff together, you don't necessarily need a rolling pin. Even when I cut my biscuits out, you guys will see I'm just using a can. I mean, it's all good, family. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to roll your dough super thin, family. You're going to leave it about a ½ inch thick. As you can see, I've rolled it all 4 sides, family. And so right here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to press our biscuits out. So if you don't have a biscuit cutter, no worries, family. Just grab a can. I mean, any can you got, maybe you open a can or something. Just cut the other side of it out. Just open it. Make sure it's open on both ends. And so your biscuits can come out pretty easy and simple. Okay, family, right here. So I'm going to tell you guys another big secret to your biscuits coming out nice and high and fluffy. And family, that is to not twist. I repeat once again for the people way in the back. Do not twist your biscuit cutter. Whatever you are cutting your biscuits out with, don't give it that twist, because when you twist it down like that, family, you ruin the layers. You smush them. You smash them. It's a wrap. you could have had Hightower biscuits, and man, now you're not. Now you're not. You just might as well go just buy you some Grands because you just ruined your biscuits. Well, I mean, they'll probably still taste delicious, but they're not going to rise as high as they could have. So when you're cutting your biscuits, family, just gently take your biscuit cutter, your can, your glass, your cup, whatever you're using, and just gently press down, straight down, family. Do not twist. Period. Pooh. Okay, family, when you've cut out as many biscuits as you can from your original dough, you're going to want to re-roll it and then, just cut out as many more biscuits as you can. Now, these second cuts of biscuits, they won't be as tender and pretty as the first cut, but still delicious, okay? So, yeah, just do that. So, just use your dough and cut out as many as you can. And actually, guys, too, family, biscuit dough is really versatile. Like, you can take the rest of the biscuit dough and you can put it in the freezer, for some other time. Biscuit dough freezes so well. In fact, family, I'm just going to tell you guys now because I don't want this video to be crazy long. Actually, after I'm done cutting my biscuits out, I put them in the freezer for a few minutes to let them get cold again, to let the ingredients get cold again. I cannot stress that enough to you, family. That's one of the key secrets a lot of people don't tell you about biscuits. One is making sure that everything is super cold. 2 is not twisting your biscuit cutter. 3 is making sure that your oven is preheated to 425. Most people like to cook biscuits at 450, but I think 425 is just great because I don't like the bottom of my biscuits crazy hard. That's right, family, 425. Make sure your oven is preheated to 425. For all the people in the back, see that big old whole cake right there? That's what we call it down south, the last piece of the biscuit dough that's left. You call it a whole cake. There's a story behind that, but I don't want to get into the story of the whole cake right now. And it has nothing to do with a woman. It actually goes back to slavery time. But yeah, so that's it for that, family. Okay, family, right here, here's the biscuits. So what you see running right there is the cream. So what you want to do is, so your biscuits come out nice and brown on the top, you're going to want to either use some milk, the cream, or you can even use some egg wash so your biscuits will come out nice and brown on the top, family. And like I said before, I just put the biscuits in the oven. I put the biscuits in the freezer for a little bit and then just pop them in the oven at 425, guys, and they should be ready in like 15-20 minutes, to be real with you. And here we go, fam. Here's our final product. Here's our finished product. These are our cream biscuits. And guys, note, because we're using cream and not buttermilk, the biscuits are extra tender. I mean, they are super duper soft, family. So I made some honey pork chops to go with the biscuits. And I didn't show you guys how to make the honey pork chops. I might make that into another video because the video was like hecka long. But yeah, fam, so this is it. You can butter your biscuits, eat it with jam, jelly, do like I did right here myself, and went ahead and slid a nice honey pork chop in between that yummy biscuit. So soft, so tender. It was absolutely delicious. So family, go ahead and give these biscuits a try. It's not really as hard as some people think to make biscuits, and I'm telling you, once you learn how to make them, just make them a couple of times, and family, you'll have it. You'll be able to make homemade biscuits for your family anytime, for your girl, for your man. Trust me, ladies, I'm trying to tell you, it is nothing like a woman that can make homemade biscuits. You want to impress a man, you want to impress your man, just throw that can of Grands in the trash can, girl, and let him come in the kitchen and see you right there with your hands in that dough with that flour everywhere, making some homemade biscuits for him. Let me tell you, girls, that's gonna be a feather in your cap. Trust me, that's gonna be some stars in his eyes for you. This is like some man catching biscuits for real. I'm dead serious. man catching, okay? Catch you a man. But anyway, family, thank y'all for tuning in. Like I said before, I'm going to be more consistent with my content from here on out. And I really appreciate you guys, family. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for rocking with my channel. And thank you to all my new subscribers again. And simply put, everybody out there, stay blessed. Mahalos.